Hi, Tiff.
Hey,
How's it going?
oh, pretty good. It's
Good.
freezing here in Michigan, but it's going to start to warm up,
Yeah,
so it's
we
going to
got
be getting a little bit better pretty soon.
hit by the winter vortex.
Oh, we got hit hard.
It was so cold, my car froze. And
Yeah,
I can't start it.
it's not just the battery. I think all the fuel lines are froze. So
Could
I
be a
think,
number of things. I think the antifreeze froze as well.
yeah, it's like below. I think the wind chill at one day, they said it was below. What is it? -30 with the wind chill, almost -40 degrees in Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
We got hit pretty hard. So did Wisconsin and the Midwest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's been like everybody's been staying home. Luckily, we didn't lose power like some people had, so we still have heat, and we just don't have a car for the next couple days. But that's okay. It's not damaged. It's just froze.
Yes. So I'm here with Tiffany. She is the host of her own show called The Squeeb. And you can find Squeeb on YouTube. Find some videos. And our podcasts are on there too. So you can pick a video. And it's an audible sort of thing. I think we have some with video, but mostly it's just audio. And we're on iTunes. So if you want to take us along with you, you can do that as well. And listen to us on the go.
Road.
On the go.
If your car starts, you can listen to it into your car.
And we are also on Creative Cult, creativecult.com. That's CRE8, the number 8, TIVE, cult.com. A lot of people say we're misspelling that for some reason, and I did that just for uniqueness.
Yeah, right. It is unique, but it's even if you spell it the right way, it still pops up with the 8 in it. So
Yeah.
you don't have to be.
Yeah, if you don't want to put the 8 in there, just spell it normal, and you should see us.
So hopefully in the next couple days, everybody will start to unthaw, and it has been pretty bad though. The battery literally froze in your car. I had a friend that I called today. He said he has to take his battery out and put it in the house. Can you imagine having to take your battery out every time you stop your car and go home? Undo your battery, pull it out, and put it in the house. That would just be
Yeah.
so time consuming and such a pain in the ass.
I'm not a car expert, but
But if I guess if
I don't
we-
want to do that.
Yeah, I know. God, it's been terrible. And I was thinking today, if it's been this cold, I wonder if all the animals are froze to death. I mean,
There
think about,
probably are some cases of frozen,
yeah.
farm animals.
I
and
haven't
stuff
seen
like
any
this.
squirrels out in the trees. I'm getting a little worried.
So if you guys are out there struggling with winter and snuggle up and, stay warm.
I know it feels like Alaska here.
And for those of you that aren't warm, find a place. I'm sure there are warming centers throughout the Midwest.
Yeah, I'm
But
sure there are too.
It's supposed to warm up in a couple of days anyway.
Yay!
So Dennis Rodman sings "Happy Birthday" to Kim Jong Un,
And they call
And-
Snowden a traitor?
and-
Seriously?
and he was on CNN giving a press review of some stuff. Maybe we can bring that up.
Well, this guy, I think Rodman is just nuts. And he does that peanut commercial, and they even say on the the pistachio commercial he does? They have a little Korean guy sitting next to him, and him and this Korean guy and Rodman are talking, and the Korean guy slams his hand down on the red button like a nuclear button and blows Rodman up. And it's kind of funny. In the commercial, it says he's just nuts, which
Wow.
is true. I mean, the guy's crazy.
So he's singing "Happy Birthday" to his new best friend.
Well, you know what I think Rodman is doing? He always, when he became a basketball player, he was a normal kid. You know how they called him the worm, and he was picked on a lot when he was a small kid because, he was pretty skinny when he was growing up in Detroit. And I think he had some kind of a complex of not being popular. He tried to kill himself, and he was just crazy. And that's when he started doing all that shit to his face and getting the tattoos, and he would dye his hair green. I think
How old is he? He's got to be.
He's
what,
our age. No. He's
40s?
No, I think he's closer to like 48. He's
48?
yeah,
That's not my age, but okay.
a few years older than us. But I think he just lost it. I think that he goes over there to North Korea, and he feels empowered by this guy because now he's something. He feels like, oh my God, I'm buddy with the president of or the ruler of a country. I think that gives him like some sort of power over how he feels in the United States, where he's just picked on. So I
he
think
has a new fan base now.
right, and they think he's some sort of fucking hero, and I think it gives him all this power, this big huge power trip, and you know, I think he's doing this for the wrong reasons. You know, they love this guy.
It could be. He's old. He's just watching. They're playing basketball right now, and you can find this video on Sky News. It looks like Dennis Rodman sings "Happy Birthday," and they're playing basketball. So
I just think that he feels like he's got this new best friend that rules the country, and he doesn't give a shit about the politics of it all. And he was even the people from the United States are like, well, why don't you help that one? There's a guy that was is being imprisoned in North Korea.
yeah,
And actually, some news reporter had asked him, like, why don't you do some negotiations about getting this guy home? And Rodman was defending North Korea, Kim Jong-un, saying, do you know what this guy did? Do you know what this guy did? And I'm thinking, oh, my God, he's a prisoner of some stupid shit over in North Korea. They won't let him come home. And Rodman could probably easily persuade this guy to let him go home, but he's not doing that. So
maybe he's got to build trust. Who knows?
I don't know, but, I mean, it's...
Maybe he just doesn't want to get into their affairs.
This is what I think is going to happen. There's going to be a time when Kim Jong-un is not going to let these guys come back home.
Yeah, he wants to keep them for his own personal.
He's going to keep
trophies.
them as fucking pets.
Yeah,
And I can see that happening. Rodman will never be home.
yeah.
So he's playing with fire, I think.
Who knows? I mean, maybe he's opening doors to, just his own unique way of opening a door. And
I really hope that's,
who knows?
I really hope that maybe there's some peace and maybe Rodman can talk him into being more, talk this guy into being more humane to his people, but show him some more,
See, they're cheering and stuff. They have to do that. They are ordered to cheer and cry and all that stuff.
Remember 2008
crazy.
Olympics where there was that big scandal where in China they paid people to go to the Olympics and cheer? Do you remember that big scandal? And then at the there was some shots where they actually superimposed people. Like they took cutouts
Yeah.
of people to make the Olympics look like the arena was fuller in the audience than it really was. That was a big scandal.
Right. So now I'm on the Young Turks YouTube page, and hopefully they don't get mad we're using the soundbite, but we're going to use the Young Turks because they're a pretty reputable democratic news organization.
Yeah, Rodman's he's playing with fire, man.
I don't know. We'll see what happens. I think just the media's making a big stink about it because this
Well, it's Rodman.
dictatorship of a leader they have over there is...
The media is going crazy with this because it's such an interesting story. They're
Of course.
just picking on him. I don't know.
Who knows? And the guy's young enough to look at Rodman as a great basketball player. So here they are. Rodman goes off on CNN.
I saw this
That's
the other
crazy.
day. I was like, oh my God. How funny is this? It's scary in a way. Rodman is crazy.
That this is wrong, that he is sick. If you can help Dennis, will you take the opportunity?
Watch this. The one thing about politics, Kenneth Bay did one thing. If you understand, I got it. If you understand what Kenneth Bay did,
Yeah.
do you understand what he did?
What did he do? You
in
tell
this
me.
country?
There he goes.
You
He's
tell me, what did he do?
No, you tell me. You tell me. Why is he held captive?
They haven't
here in
released
this
any
country?
charges. They have.
Dude, he's now officially defending Kim Jong-un's position.
right. That's what I was saying. He was defending
He's
him.
captured an American citizen and won't let him go. Look, what did Kenneth Bay do inside North Korea? I have no idea, right? But for Dennis Rodman to go
What can you do in that country? Probably,
Rodman could
You're
probably-
policed by everybody.
Rodman probably could help get this guy released
okay, official North Korea spokesperson, tell
if
us
he
what
wanted
did.
to.
Yeah,
Right.
he has no idea what he's talking about. But I will say this, and this isn't meant to
By the way, for those of you who just tuned in, we are on the Young Turks YouTube page, and we're just grabbing some soundbite from that.
of the North Korean government while he's there. I mean, I think that it would be a little risky to do that. So I don't know if he
Well,
feels
then don't bring
pressured.
your weak ass
Don't go
into
to
the
North Korea in
country.
the first place, right?
Yeah.
Like, don't put yourself in that position where you're going to be forced to, if he is forced, I'm not even convinced that that's the case, to defend someone who is brutal to his people. So, no respect at all. And his answer was ridiculous.
Look, he's an idiot.
He's an idiot.
Look, we're making apologies for this guy. I mean, everybody's talking about like, oh, but look, And even Jesse Jackson was like, well, I'm glad he went, you know, and he's
But
opening
why?
up
What's the
a
point
line
of
of
him going?
communication. But you need to send someone that has like two brain cells that can rub together so they can make. Actually, Charles Smith shined.
You're both idiots.
Yeah,
I
who
can't listen
knows?
to
I
any
didn't
more
see
of this.
that. I didn't know this was going on. So I guess I
So-
retract all my statements before
What was that?
listening to this. Oh, they're opening doors and blah blah blah, and apparently they're not. So my bad.
Like I said, Rodman's doing it
That's
for
his-
power.
Whatever, right? Oh, because he's smoking a lot. I don't know. Anyway, Charles Smith, who most basketball fans know as a loser.
So I guess that's enough of that.
Well,
Is there some more? Let's see if he.
I'm saying to you, look at these guys here. Look at them.
Yeah, but Dennis, don't put it on them. Don't use them as an excuse for the behavior that you're putting on yourself.
Really?
These guys are thinking, "Fuck, what'd we get into?"
I think the guy, yeah, the men that the 10 guys that were with
Yeah,
him.
they're sitting around there going, "What?
How the fuck do we get
did
out of
we
this?"
just Get out of. How do we get out of this?
Rodman can't speak clearly, like he's on drugs.
Do one thing. We have to go back to America and take the abuse. Do you have to take the abuse? Well, we gonna take it. Do you, sir? Let me know. Are you gonna take the abuse? We gonna get it. But guess what, though? One day.
Such an idiot.
This doesn't make
Okay,
any
turn
sense.
this off. I
It's-
can't watch the
think
train
it-
wreck
I
anymore.
think it's funny. It's crazy.
Oh my god.
So anyway, another famous person.
Well, let's talk about. Let's
You
change
want to
this.
talk about? Want to change it?
Michael
change the
Bay
subject?
had
Michael
a little.
Bay.
Oh my god,
I was
Michael
just gonna
Bay.
say Michael Bay.
At first, okay, if anybody hasn't seen this horrible nightmare unfold on YouTube and in the media, Michael Bay was at some conference for Samsung, and he was supposed to be talking some tech news with a big house full of, I believe it was media people,
Yeah,
the heads of the
Samsung.
media
Samsung
in
press-
technology, and he was supposed to be doing some prep conference, and he the teleprompters were not working correctly,
Yeah.
or something had happened, technical difficulties, and Michael Bay was just supposed to be as like a host or a spokesman, but he wasn't. He doesn't work for Samsung. He's not a tech guy exactly, so he was just depending on reading this teleprompter, which a lot of people do that, which is
Right.
understandable. He's not the guy that should be standing up there going over this by any means. He doesn't know the background of it.
But
So,
for his,
well, if you
in
want,
my opinion, in his professionalism as a professional director, and things like that, he should have known how to handle the guy's questions.
exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, okay, stop reading the prompter. Is he that anal that he has to go? No, I'm here to read this prompter. That's
Right.
what I'm getting paid for, and I'm out of here.
Right.
I think that's what happened.
Well, I agree with that. When I first watched it, I was like, what a douchebag. But then when I was watching TMZ today, Harvey, Corman, whatever his name is, the guy that hosts the TMZ, was interviewing Michael Bay, and he was just like, he was saying how embarrassed he was and how, he was so frustrated by the technical difficulties that he couldn't even concentrate on the gentleman that was asking him the questions on stage. He was looking at the guy, and he's like, I can't even hear you right now, buddy, because I'm so upset about this teleprompter not working. And that's what his
Right.
focus was on, which if you've
The
ever
technical behind the scenes of like, all right, who fucked this up?
been... Right.
Who's okay?
So-
He probably went backstage to go talk to somebody, going, "What the
Right.
fuck are you guys doing?"
So-
because that's what a director does. He's got to
Right.
have all this technical control of everything.
Right.
And if it's not on a certain time or a certain whatever,
But he's definitely-
these kind of. And I'm like that too.
Yeah,
If
exactly.
I freak out too. It's like, okay, we got a certain amount of time, and we got to get this right because the lighting costs money.
Right. And the thing is that there's just certain people in this industry, you're scripted. Everything about you in your life is scripted out at some point. You get so used to everything being on schedule,
Well, if
from
you're-
getting up in the morning to
Right.
going to bed. So you have this schedule.
Let's say
you have
if you're
to
on the
follow.
go all the time as an actor,
Like
you got to
this
promote
guy.
a show or
Right.
something. You're going on all these shows. All they're doing is just show up. We'll have everything scripted out for you.
And
Just show up.
You depend on a really good crew and a personal assistant and people to help you during that time. And this is kind of what happened. So when this fella on stage asked Michael Bay a question, he's like, I have no idea what to say to you right now. I have something else I have to take care of. And he walked off stage.
I think he was thinking about the problem of the technical problem. He was probably thinking because he's a techie guy, I would
Right.
imagine, because he actually shoots his Transformers movies. And
Right.
he's the guy, hands-on guy.
But like I was just saying, in his defense, I thought he was kind of a douchebag in the beginning, but actually it turns out that, you really don't know. You can't really judge somebody until you step into their shoes and figure out what kind of person this guy is. So, I mean, it was kind of a jackass move, but, It is what it is, and it's kind of
I
funny.
don't think it was jackass.
But
Well,
the other thing is too, this is how important social media is.
probably should have known.
Social media is so big right now that because if this would have happened in 2005, 2004, no, this would have just been swept under the rug. It would have been a headline. Maybe somebody would have read it and it would not have been a big deal at all.
Oh,
But
yeah.
now that we have everything on YouTube and Twitter,
Everybody's
soon
being
as-
tracked.
as soon as you trip in public, it is on Twitter if
Right.
you're famous.
Right.
So things have changed a lot. You can't screw up in this world anymore without everybody knowing what's going on
Right.
with your life. So, oh
Yeah.
well.
Well, look at the girl that was a PR agent that tweeted something about. I think we talked about this before, but she was going to South Africa. Said something about AIDS and not getting it. Oh, by the way, I'm white. Ha, like ha ha ha, kind of a thing. She got busted on the plane. Somebody read her tweets. So by the time she got off the plane, she was fired from whatever PR agency.
Well,
she
you know
worked
what?
with.
I'll tell you what. Something if you're whatever her position was, I would have fired her too. You can't really say that stuff now.
No, because it's stupid. It's irresponsible, and it's like, why would you say something like that? And who the fuck are you?
Well, I think it was a morning show Sunday morning. Fox News crew were making fun of Mitt Romney's adopted grandbaby that happens to be black. They were
Right.
making fun of him, making some little political jokes about it. And those people, two of those people, I think, got fired. And the one girl goes back up on, I don't know her name. I don't even care to because it was such a stupid statement. She goes up. She probably got a message from her boss saying, you better retract these statements or we're making a public apology or you're fired. So she gets on TV and she's crying like, oh, yeah, adopting a interracial baby is the most wonderful thing. And I'm sorry for saying anything about a black baby and this and that to a white family. And, you know, I would have fired her ass too. You can't say that. It's not the child's fault. You know, you're making fun of a 3-year-old toddler because you don't like Mitt Romney now that, you know, because it's his family. It's unacceptable.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw that, but this lady was bawling. She was going to lose her fucking job. And you know what? She was black. She's mulatto or black or something like that too. So you would think she'd have a little more heart. But, oh well.
Well,
People are ignorant.
I think the whole thing with social media is the responsibility part of that comes along with it. Am I responsible for it? There's a lot of haters, there's a lot of bitches, and there's a lot of cunts out there, right?
Yeah.
Could they have a miserable fucking life? And
It's
they get on
not-
the social media and they think they can just burn everybody that comes across their little feed.
Yeah, but taking a jab at a political guy like Romney is one thing, but doing it to his family, that's a whole nother world, you know? I would have to say fire her. I hope she gets fired. But so that was interesting. There's been some bullshit in the news lately, though, since the beginning of, you know, January 1st. You think, you know, 2014 would have been a start of a brand new year, and it just seems like it's been getting
Well-
worse. It's been a rough
Well,
couple
let's go to
weeks.
Colorado for a second because something happened over there that was kind of positive, and you know,
Right.
I think it's creating jobs. It's providing a service, and it's providing.
And you're
aid,
speaking about the
and-
marijuana law that got passed.
That's right.
Yay!
And,
I don't smoke pot, but hey, you know,
I'm a proponent of marijuana, and I think it's a good thing. There's lots of great uses for it.
I really hope they
baked
take-
goods or whatever, however you want to ingest the medicinal properties of that.
I think that they should start, you know, if they're going to sell pot, I think they should really make a point of being more conscious of using hemp and everything that marijuana is good for,
I
like
think
the
hemp is
oils and
next.
everything else.
I honestly think, you know, pot will be just kind of in there. I think hemp is next. I think they have some people that are just waiting to,
Jump on that.
just
I think
ready
that'd
to
be
get out of the
great.
gate with that because
That is so
they're
great
trying
for
to pass. And I invest in this stuff.
I
I
know, you
actually
got some money this
I
week.
know. I'm actually making money from investing in that. So if you guys are looking into investing in this, if you want to get in quick and you got a lot of money to dump in and get
Well,
out, that's
tell
probably
everybody
a good idea.
what website you're going through. You go through
No,
Share.
because I'm not getting paid to promote anybody's stuff, so we're
Well,
not,
okay,
we're
well,
not
you
gonna
just-
do that. You can go through any, online
Right.
trade, whatever. You pick your favorite one, but now though they have a new one coming out soon that you can trade for free.
Which one?
I forgot the name of it.
Oh, because I used to go through this one place.
I forgot the name of it. I'm not going to say it because we're not
Right.
promoting
But
people's stuff, you know.
you have to pay a commission when you trade all this crap back and
Yeah,
forth. There's a
for the
fee.
stuff that's out there now, but this new one's kind of a new up and coming startup.
Hey, I'll do that. I'm sick of paying, you know, commission.
No, I don't want to pay fees. You know, $6 is $6, or how much,
Wow.
however
It's
much you're paying
10
for
or
these
15.
other ones. So anyway, I think marijuana is a good thing for economy. And what they made
$1 million in
all
one
the
day.
store outlets made at least $1 million.
I'm going there to get a job. And this is what I think.
So
If I were to move anywhere, and I'm in Michigan, so we don't have the greatest job market here, but if I were to move somewhere, being that I don't smoke pot and I don't do drugs, and I'm a little bit older, it's harder for me to get a job. But going out to Colorado where everybody's smoking pot, I have a leg up on everybody because now, they're going to start hiring people that are my age again because we don't smoke pot, and people that are a little older because we can pass a fucking drug test.
I wonder if they have to submit drug tests for people that work there.
There was an article saying, yeah, they can still hire and ask for a drug test, just like in Michigan, you can get
Right.
fired
because
for-
you are responsible for their storefront, and you are insured under their policy.
Jason, listen
in
to
some
this.
way or form. I don't know.
This is the same thing.
Some people are lax on it, but now they have restaurants that'll serve marijuana.
Right, but listen to this. This
So
is how I see it.
I don't know if it's like the alcohol laws, if it's going to be laid out like the alcohol
Yeah.
laws or what. I don't know.
Okay, this is what I see. It's legal for me to drink, but is it legal? You just don't go to work drunk, right? So you can't really go into
No.
work high.
Well, it's a different mindset, I think.
Doesn't matter. I would be pissed.
Well, what if you're on prescription drugs for pain or whatever?
Same thing, yeah.
You know,
If you can't do your job,
people
you can't have
people
that
take
job.
Xanax and anxiety medication to go to work.
Well, there's some type of people
You
that
know,
need to
there's
take a
whole-
Xanax to
wow,
go to
there's a
work.
whole big argument behind that.
Right, but there's some milder prescription drugs.
I think
and
it's
heart
very-
medication, you can take
I think
prescription
it's
drugs
very
and go to work.
I think it's very relaxed in Colorado. I think a lot of people are under the influence, but they handle it very well and they're professional. If you can
Right.
if you can pull that off.
But
I
let
know
me-
a lot of people that smoke weed and I don't even know they're high.
Yeah, I know.
know?
But I used to work in a bar. I used to manage a bar, and some of our barbacks and bartenders would come in not just drunk, but they would come in high. And it used to drive me nuts because they're stupid half the time.
Well, they're just doing stupid stuff.
You couldn't talk to them. Like, hello, are you in there?
Well-
And the other thing that pisses me off, too.
They shouldn't be out. They shouldn't be out hanging out at a bar if they're that high.
But they're at work.
Yeah, I don't
they're
know.
at
They're
work.
at work going to the bar for like a lunch or something.
No, if I said when I managed a bar, my employees would come in high, and I would ask them to do something, and I can't get them to do anything because they're so damn high.
Oh.
They were just stupid. So that's another problem here. And
Do you have a personal problem with people that get high?
well, for a few reasons, yeah, because I don't want to work in a place. Let's say just like when I worked at a cell phone store. How would you feel if the guy that came out of the back room smelled so bad of weed trying to sell you a phone? How would that go over?
Okay, that's different.
How is it different than you going to work high or having to
If
take a drug
you're-
test?
If you're in a pot store, you're gonna smell like weed no matter what.
Okay, that's different. It's acceptable. It's acceptable to be high at work, just like it's acceptable if you work in that industry. If you're selling pot to other people, it's okay to smell like pot, right?
I would say yes.
Okay.
It wouldn't bother me because you're there for a purpose anyway.
My
You're there
next
to-
point is, if you work in a bar and you do a shot with a customer, have a drink with them while you're on the clock, that's also acceptable. But you can't do that shit like working in an insurance company. You know what I mean? I mean,
Well,
there's just
that-
a
yeah,
division of.
Okay, yeah.
So-
I'm talking about store sales of marijuana. If you're an
Okay.
employee there, let's say I owned a store.
I highly doubt they're going to do drug testing.
Yeah, but let's say I owned a store. I wouldn't care if my employees got high because they're
Right,
gonna
right.
have to know their product.
Right.
You know?
Same thing when I was a bartender managing a bar. I didn't care if you had a shop behind the bar because you have to know your product. Exactly. But like I'm saying
But
is,
here's how it is: if we're providing service, we're creating jobs, and we're creating revenue for taxes and for the state and stuff like that. That's a good thing.
it is a good thing.
That's
I
huge.
totally
They made
agree.
a lot of money, and I'm sure they dished out a lot of taxes that day.
I agree that it's a good thing. If you smoke pot, I don't care. I don't care what you do with your life. My point is people that are 40 and up that are looking for work have a leg up now of getting in the door. They're going to hire somebody my age or older because we can pass a drug test. Where somebody 22, 23 might be a little younger who's well qualified for the same position or just fresh out of high school or college, they might not, they're not going to pass that drug test, so they're not going to get hired.
If you're going to go into any conventional business or job that is not marijuana related,
Right,
you
don't
can,
be
You
smoking
can
any
forget
weed,
about it.
so.
Getting a job. Unless you clean yourself out, pass the test,
Right.
and smoke after that. That's fine, whatever.
Right.
But
they might do random drug testing too. You
they
never
do.
know.
They do that. Yes.
I'm good though. So, in my eyes, that's one thing that I'm pretty happy
So,
about, and people
there's a
little
lot of-
older just look at it that way.
There's a
too.
lot of pros and cons. If you're using marijuana for medicinal purposes, you got aches, pains, and
You can still get drug tested.
soreness and stuff like that. I think if you have some sort of pain, marijuana is the right medication
Yeah,
for you.
I agree, but you better make sure you tell your managers that do random drug testing and what your deal is, even if it's medically prescribed by your doctor. You can still get fired.
Well, that's where you get the card, and you.
That's
blah,
where you
blah,
get a
blah.
lawsuit coming.
Who knows?
So
knows?
the problem is they really need to get those loopholes and work out some of their bugs. Honestly, they need. I mean, they're going to pass this for recreational purposes, but they better pass some laws saying to protect people for smoking
Right.
pot. So
I see this. I see Colorado as a tourist attraction now
I do too.
because there's a lot of people that are going to smoke weed every day.
You know what we should do, Jason? Buy a big piece of property and start a little mini Disney World because people are going to go. Start a little amusement park.
Amusement park.
Weed friendly amusement park.
Weed friendly, where everything is super psychedelic and
You know how much you like go
and
buy
fun,
yeah.
and you got fish playing in the background, and you got
Video games are coming back. I'll tell you
video
that.
games. Yeah.
Video back. You know,
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go there, buy a bunch of old video games, make it real retro.
Yeah.
We'll be playing some water
I
sports.
can imagine the documentary filmmakers that are going to flock to that area and do some documentaries.
That would be awesome. You know, a day in the life
Case
of smoking
studies.
pot.
I think there's going to be a lot of case studies going on and just stuff, just
See,
crime measure. With this, they're going to measure crime. They're going to measure the crime in the area. Are they bringing crime to the area, or is it flooding? Is it going away?
I think
My opinion, it'll go away.
me too. Yep.
It'll
Remember
go
a year
away
ago?
because
Year
it's
ago that,
policed, it's taxed, it's creating jobs, and we don't want these fuckers in our neighborhood that want to
That's-
commit crimes.
the president a year ago just did that. Remember? You were telling me about that too.
Plus,
he just legalized
you
drugs.
just told me if you're going to go to Detroit, bring a gun, because the police chief in Detroit, was at the news, said if you own a home or you're coming to Detroit for some reason,
Pack.
you better pack a gun because we don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, well,
When you hear that, you better bring a gun because if someone's going to kill you, they're going to kill you there.
let me tell you this though. Just because the guy was from Detroit, he's making a very good point. Keeping the public that is good people like us and people that are not criminals armed is the only way to stop crime. If I was a criminal,
That's called taking responsibility for yourself.
right?
And I hear politicians all the time take responsibility for self. Well, I'm going to take responsibility for my own protection.
Yeah, it's your own.
But yet it's a crime if I pull the trigger
right.
and
We-
protect my. I don't get that at all.
We could do a really good gun ad because the government thinks that they have enough money to protect us citizens when they can't. So we
There's
could
more.
do it.
I think there's more crime done by police than there is citizens.
Oh, for sure.
You
There's
know.
a reason why only 20% of these murders and crimes are going solved, and the other 80% are not going solved. I'm sure that there's a lot of police that are crooked. Like they know these people are killing each other, and they don't care. Like if two drug dealers kill each other, who fucking cares, right? The cops don't care. They're not going to waste their time.
I care in a sense that
People
it
are getting
doesn't-
killed. Yeah, I care about
in a
that.
sense that it doesn't have to happen.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't have to
And that's
happen.
why they should pass, I think, legalize drugs. Because what are these people going to do? They're going to be like, what am I doing?
Right. It's a
It's
horrible
not a black market anymore. What am I? Because immediately the question mark pops up in your head going, fuck, I'm done.
Well,
If you were a drug dealer.
in a social setting, if you smoke pot or do drugs, you're already pushed down in society a little bit because people are going to look down on you. Now that it's legal, it's going to take that away. You know what I'm saying? It's going to take that.
I agree. And I think you're going to see a whole fucking world open up, especially in Colorado and Washington. I think
Right.
Washington's going to start up their retail sales soon here. I just read an article in a couple of days. I think they're about a week away.
Well, they're trying to keep people out of the jails too for stupid crimes.
Where our jails are full of
People that shouldn't be in jail.
Yeah, shouldn't even be in jail for that.
They're letting the wrong people out, and they don't have enough room for the people that should be in jail.
Right.
So
So you can't abuse marijuana. There's no way you can abuse it. I'm sure you can be addicted to it like cigarettes and just keep smoking and smoking and smoking because it's a
Right.
habit. But I don't think there's no lethal dose
Right.
of marijuana. There's a lethal dose to nicotine. Yeah, I would say yes.
Oh, for sure. So in Michigan, they passed these laws too, but it's not going to be the same here because people are so conservative in Michigan that it will never be like it is out west with the marijuana laws. It's just not going to take effect here like you would think it is going to be.
Nope, it's so conservative.
It
here.
is really conservative.
They
here.
don't want. They'll dip their toe in it and go, okay, we'll try this medical
Right.
marijuana because it's bringing revenue
Right.
to my doctor or some political agenda going on in the background. That's what's going on here.
But you'll never eliminate that social stigma that you're going to have if you're a pot smoker. But people, they're just not going to accept it. Other people
Here, no.
No, they're not going to
It's
accept
like
it here.
you do that stuff out. Go to now they're going. You want to smoke pot? Go to Colorado.
Right.
We don't do that here. And
If people-
that's New York is having the same issues. It's like, oh, we'll dip our toe in the medical marijuana thing because it's now the politically correct thing to do, and I'm going to get reelected if I do this.
Right.
That's what's going on with these other people. Michigan and Ohio and all these other states, they can care less because this is your CNN country. This is your Fox News country. This is your Bible Belt and all this other crap. And it's just a spoon-fed society
Yeah,
here.
that's not going to take off here. It's going to be very.
It's hard to
slow
make
moving
it's
here.
hard to make friends here. It's hard to venture out and do things here. It's hard to do business here.
Well, the Midwest is farmland. People are separated here. We're not a very social, close-knitted community because so many people are so sprawled out.
Right.
Think about it. Michigan is farmland. You may not see a house for a mile from your
Right.
house. I grew up in the country. Most people did. You don't see a lot of people. So you lose, that connection with other families. Your friends and your cousins and your family are your close-knit, that's who you stick to. You don't venture out, like you said.
Right.
You still have at 40 years old, most of my friends still live
Right.
in the same town with the same friends from high school.
Mm-hmm.
I could not do that. I grew up in a small farm town, and I would kill myself. I'd be like, no. no way.
And this is where people find themselves bored here. They get to a certain point or
Well, they're
certain age
comfortable.
group. You're either comfortable or you're bored and you want to get out.
Right.
And that's where you go out west or out east and you figure out, where do I fit in here?
See, I would never hang out with my family to go into a restaurant or the movies after.
I don't like going to restaurants. I don't.
Yeah.
I'll go with like you, of course.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
But like going with your family and stuff like that, obviously I'll go with you because, we can
Right.
talk about stuff and enjoy each other's company. But
right.
going with your family is like, hi, how's it going? Why can't we do this at home?
It's a special occasion when you go with your family. Like
Yeah.
like it's a funeral or a wedding is the only time you go out to dinner with your family if you're celebrating something.
And you're not really talking about anything.
Right.
And they don't want to hear your crap like
Well,
a wearable gadget that that can track you in case you fall into a snow avalanche.
What? Oh my.
Think about that. Someone's
Okay,
gonna,
changing the topic here.
Someone's gonna do that. Someone's gonna put a wearable thing where if you go skiing out in Aspen,
That's good
they'll
though.
go put this in your pocket
Fuck yeah,
because it'll track you for your ticket, your shoes and boots back, and your rental. We'll track it in case you get stuck in the snow. We can track your ass and pinpoint your location.
That is a
so
great
we
idea.
We can save you faster than being buried alive. I just thought of that when you told me that. I was like, oh, we need to track. There should be a trackable device on people. That the place where you rent from, they pin it on you somewhere, or they put it on your little tag or your whatever.
Right. I know what you're saying.
They tag you.
I
So in
think that's
case
a great
something
idea.
happens to you, a helicopter can pinpoint your location.
That's a great
drop
idea.
down and literally pull you out right where you are at.
That is a good idea. I mean, you have
And
friends
even
that-
if it falls off somewhere, it'll get that general vicinity of where you're at in that avalanche.
And I'm sure, it's optional for it's optional for these people that are at ski ranch or ski
Plus-
lodges to take on that, but it's always a good idea.
I know I'm giving away my idea. Please don't take my idea because I'm trying.
Well, they track dogs like that, and they've been doing that for years.
Yeah, but think of the
In their
data.
collars.
Think of the data they can collect with a live thing of where people are skiing,
Right.
and just have a data stream and a visual graphic of okay, how can we better powder our hills?
Well, I will tell you this too. There is that
where-
gadget that you wear, those jawbones
Yeah.
that you wear on your wrist that tracks if you're sleeping or not. One of these could track how you're skiing. Not only that, but it can track if you get hit by an avalanche.
Yeah, your altitude, everything.
if you're
How
off the
fast
ground.
you're going?
It's crazy.
How fast you're going? Were you sitting still? Were you
Yeah.
actually going down the hill with it? Not
and
that
then
that's
once you're
important,
done with
but-
it, you can download it into your iPhone app.
Yep, and go. This is my ski adventure. This is my ski adventure of Vail or wherever I was,
Where it has a map.
and
That'd be a great app to
That's it.
start. It's a sports,
I bet you they already have it.
probably. But I mean, it's always good to have an app like that. And in Vail this week, gosh, Vail's been in
And
the
not
news.
only that, maybe there's a sensor in it that monitors your vitals, your heart,
in case you're going to get frostbite.
well,
and die.
it'll just
Tell
measure your
you-
heart rhythm, and
Well,
tell-
that's good
you know,
too,
is this guy
because-
alive or not?
Because people,
Oh yeah, he's alive. His heart's beating. Oh, he's right below us. Dig him out. He's right there. Blah 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 blah. You know
well,
what I mean?
especially for little kids, they don't know if they're getting frostbite or not because they're just little and they can't tell mom and dad what's going on sometimes. And if you have little ones, it can monitor their vitals.
Well, body temperature.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Their
So
body
then
temperature.
it has to be stuck on them somewhere.
Right, but
And
still-
then you have this issue of invasion of privacy.
yeah, but if
do I
it's a
want-
willing thing, if
do I
it's
want-
willing for the day, if you and your family are going skiing, you just want to tag yourself for the day, so you don't
Right.
lose your kid.
Right.
Hey, that's a great idea.
But
you
then-
take the fucking thing off and give it back to the attendant in the big, in the ski lodge.
But then you have this underlying issue of, okay, skiing is now a dangerous sport because I have to wear this. Now
Skiing
you're telling
is dangerous.
Now you're telling me this is a dangerous sport.
People should be
and
wearing
dangerous
helmets.
venture. Yeah. What is it? Yeah, if you have to wear a helmet, yeah, it is a dangerous sport.
People don't wear helmets, and there's so many head injuries because of it.
This is true.
That one Formula One race car driver just got out of the hospital for a head injury. Remember, Sonny Bono died.
Yeah.
Natasha Richardson passed away about 6 years ago in Vail, I believe,
Yeah.
from an injury. That's a dangerous sport, and even if you're not, a professional,
Yeah.
that shit is
Well,
dangerous.
people blow out their knees. They, have injuries. An Olympic hopeful. I think it's Tiger Woods' wife. She's out of the Olympics because she has an injury.
I didn't know she was in the Olympics.
Yeah, she's Olympic.
He fucked up. Tiger Woods fucked up. I just saw a picture of his wife too the other day.
She's pretty.
She has a twin, identical twin.
And
She's
they
Swedish.
both probably make a lot of money.
And she was a supermodel. He messed up. So
Well, his new girlfriend, wife.
I'll
I
tell
don't
you
know.
what. Maybe she didn't mess up because Tiger Woods is not a good-looking guy.
He's $1 billion. He's worth $1 billion.
He's kind of a
Over
cute
$1
guy.
billion
He's a
dollars.
decent-looking guy, but he's not nothing. I would be like, holy crap, he's so hot. He's so hot because he's a billionaire. So that's how I see it. She probably got lucked out. Hopefully the kids look like her. So there is
this
a.
is what I'm gonna call the gadget.
Oh, nice. I think. Can you
So it'll be
pronounce that?
called- No, don't say it.
All right. So there's another thing I read in the news on Mashable today that was pretty cool. The military and DARPA and the Defense Department is working on a new project that's going to cost billions of dollars, but it's interesting. How we have all these devices, smartphones,
I'm on
radios,
Mashable right
all
now.
kinds of devices.
Let me check it out.
What do you do with these devices after you're done using them and they're old and outdated? Well, they came up with a way to make these devices biodegradable. And let's say the military, they lose a lot of their devices over, enemy lines. And there's a lot of valuable information that other people can steal out of those devices. So they can just push a button now on like a smartphone or a tablet and it biodegrades instantly. And it just vanishes. It disappears. It goes back into nature. Isn't that crazy? A biodegradable electronics. I don't know even know how something like that would look. I mean, it obviously wouldn't be metal. I mean, it wouldn't just blow up, but
Well, we know that the CES conference is going on right now. That's the electronic conference.
isn't
whatever.
that what Michael Bay was at?
That's where he was at with Samsung and stuff like that. So they have a lot of stuff going on there too. Let me bring up the page.
Things that people like us have to wait so long to get because we don't have enough money to buy everything right now like rich people do.
Well,
I would want
that's where
one of
you
those
take an
smart
idea
houses.
and go to a rich person and go, hey, look, I got an idea to make some money.
I really would love one of those smart homes where everything's hooked up and you can just click a button on your phone and turn on and off the water and open windows and stuff like on that commercial. You ever see that commercial? The old guy says, "Hey, son, where you were?" He goes, "I was just at the house." And the dad gets on the
Well, let's
smartphone
talk
and turns
about-
off all the lights and locks the doors from his smartphone. It was pretty cool.
Let's talk about T-Mobile because I'm right on it.
I-
T-Mobile is gonna pay. I don't like doing this, but
I absolutely love T-Mobile. I'll tell you what.
I think that the major carriers of mobile phone carriers, they're in a huge battle right now because this company is offering to pay your switching fees.
Right. Well, you know what? T-Mobile is so much better than Sprint, and
And I'm not getting paid to say this, but I'm just reading it going, wait a minute. If there's a huge company gonna pay your early termination fee of what, 200 to 250 on up?
Mm-hmm.
They're usually that's huge. That means they want to shut someone down.
Now, I've had T-Mobile and I've had Sprint, and T-Mobile is a better company by far. Plus, it's hot pink logo, so I love them. But T-Mobile is Dutch Telecom out of Germany. It's a European country, and they're just a better company. Their network is a lot faster, a lot clearer. It's GSM. And they have the SIM card still, so it's easier to travel with a T-Mobile phone because you can pop your SIM cards out, unlock the phone, and use it with another carrier if you're in Europe or in another country. Sprint, Verizon, they can't do that. AT&T, I believe you can, but T-Mobile is a better company by far. And when I had T-Mobile, I never had a problem downloading a video on my smartphone. Sprint, I can't get anything to work. Like, I can't get a video to work unless I'm hooked up to Wi-Fi from my house. Even on my iPhone, I can't get anything to work.
Really?
It fails.
I have the same
every time.
service, but mine maybe because I have a Samsung.
I don't think so, Jason. I think Sprint is the worst company because I know other people that have Sprint different phones, and barely ever can you get on their network. They still have 3G. They lied. They do not have 4G. Only in certain areas.
You liars!
But they just shut down. Well, the problem with Sprint is they just lost over 1 million customers last year. Their first or second quarter, they lost all their what's it called? Nextel customers. They turned off on June 30th, 2013. They turned off all their towers for Nextel. So all the people out in farm country, like, a lot of farmers used the two-way. It was really cheap. They lost their cell phone service, and now they had to go to Verizon because Verizon's the only place out there that works.
So that explains to me why Ting. Oops. Almost lost our
Ting is.
recording there.
I like Ting. Actually.
Now, Ting rides off the backbone of Sprint, so they probably went to Sprint going, hey, you just lost a lot of customers. Here's what we can do.
Probably.
Because you're losing revenue. Well, why don't we do this? Because this is where the trend is going.
Well, all prepaid networks.
So they're probably doing a case study with them, and they're probably going to flip over, and it's just going to be Ting now.
Well, track phones use Verizon, so that's why it's so cheap. They don't maintain those towers, just like the commercial says. They don't maintain the towers. That's why they can give you such low rates. You just have to buy your phone.
I use Ting, and this is not a commercial, by the way, because we're not getting paid from these people or have sponsorship with them. Maybe someday we can.
You use Ting on Sprint towers, and your phone works better than mine, and I have Sprint, and I pay 10 times more than you do.
That's interesting because, I use Ting.
But I see T-Mobile.
And my rates are lower than a Sprint and a regular.
You pay for what you use. It's a really good program,
Yeah.
really. I've been looking into it. Once my
So,
contract's
Ting,
up,
if you're
I'm
out there
getting out
listening
of
to
it.
this, we would love to have you sponsor our show because we talk about cool tech stuff. And
Well,
whatnot.
T-Mobile, I think, is going to start making some headway here pretty soon. I think it's going to be.
What about AT&T? AT&T, I think, just is doing the same thing. I think they're all doing the same thing.
AT&T has been around for so long that they have more customers because they're the first ones. AT&T is more for people that have home phone service and AOL, and they had broadband. They were the first ones that pretty much had internet that came into your homes. So that's where all the AT&T customers are coming from. The old farts that still have dial-up and broadband at home. So, everybody had AT&T when you were a kid, remember? You had AT&T service.
Yeah.
Home phone?
When I first got the internet, it was AT&T DSL service,
Yeah.
which I thought was like, this is a monopoly. This is just...
Right. And then Comcast and Charter
Fucking
and Cox
stupid.
and everybody, all these other companies came out with internet. But that's why AT&T, I think, is so huge. It's just been around forever, and they own everything. But T-Mobile, I think, is going to start becoming either I bet you they'll be pretty much number 3 top carriers. It's going to by far pass Sprint, because Sprint just lost 1 million customers. And guess what? They lose 1 million customers, somebody else gained 1 million customers, and it wasn't wasn't just Verizon and AT&T. T-Mobile gained most of those customers. Yay!
Only if they can come up with better batteries for these phones, would be great.
Well, they are.
Longer lasting batteries.
Well, do you
would be
know why
awesome.
your phones die so quick? Is because of Facebook sucks up at least 30% of your battery on your phone. So if you get rid of like Ting and Twitter off your app, or
'Cause
those
it's
apps
using
off your
GPS,
yes.
yeah.
And you know, when you have so many apps searching for your location and you don't even know it, they are sucking up your battery. So
Yeah.
if you want
They're
a battery
all-
life, and if you're in a
Most
situation,
all apps are GPS enabled.
if you're in a situation and your battery's dying too much, all you have to do is delete those apps. It doesn't delete your account. It just deletes the apps on your phone to save your battery life. And then you can re-download them and sign back in later. But if you're in some sort of an emergency situation where you need your phone for that week or weekend or something, I would just delete everything off there that you don't possibly need until, you know, everything's going to be the same once you download it again. So that's a good tip for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I used to work for cell phones. I know how to fix stuff.
You're the cell phone queen that doesn't know how to use a cell phone.
I know how to use a cell phone, but I'll tell you what. I like what I like. I like Android phones.
Candy Crush and what else?
I don't like iPhones as much. It took me a long time to figure out an iPhone app and our iPhone, their software. I do like Android. Android just easy.
Now they've got wearable tech cameras. CES is reporting on these wearable cameras.
My prediction for this year is those
It's called
smartwatches are going to be huge.
Looxie, Looxcie. Cameras are getting smaller and smaller, and they're getting at 720p, 30 frames a second on this one,
I still want some spy glasses.
which is cool. And we're not getting paid to say this. It's just an interesting little gadget that's coming out.
I want Samsung and all these other companies to send me stuff to demo on my Facebook page and on my Squeeb page. So if you're out there, I'm willing to accept any gifts that you may have. That'd be nice.
Or sponsorship from other companies that we're mentioning on the show. That'd be great because we're not getting paid either way.
Can I say Pepsi?
It'd be
Just
great.
kidding.
No, don't say Pepsi.
I didn't.
Now they've got cameras, pivot head, smart, Colfax, whatever. A camera for your face, just glasses. It's kind of like Google Glasses, but kind of the Devo looking glasses.
I'm telling you, those smartwatches are going to be huge this year. But I tell you what, I would wait a couple years until they perfect them before I'd buy one. As much as Galaxy, yes. Galaxy did a really good job on theirs. I really like theirs.
These could be helpful. These wearable cameras that you can just clip onto your clothes and take pictures and stuff like that. I mean, I can see a lot of people getting in trouble at the office.
Well, you
those.
never know. You're going to see some really cool shit, though, that, you know, people catching people doing something funny like, oh, my
Right.
God, I wish I would have had a camera for that moment. But now you do.
Yeah, because now you can program these to take pictures every 5 seconds to 5 minutes.
We should have
So you can do a time lapse throughout your day
Mm-hmm.
and just, okay, how's your day start? Every 5 seconds, there's a, your day. So if you're constantly sitting at a computer all
See,
day,
that's a great
gonna suck.
website.
But if you're constantly on the move, let's say like a politician or somebody like that, it'd be kind of a cool little social media thing for you.
It would
because you're
be.
always on the move. You're talking to certain people, shaking hands with people all the time. Or if you're in business, you're a roller and mover and you got to get things done. It'd be helpful for you in your day. And it goes right to your Wi-Fi or your phone, right into your social media.
We should start a new website or an app called People Watch. Just like Instagram, it's just People Watch. They just upload their 10-second video clips on these little smartphones. Because if you can clip
Yeah.
a camera like that onto in your jacket pocket or on your body somewhere, it looks like a little pin. It really does. Like if a decorative pin, you can't even tell it's a camera.
Mm-hmm.
That would be sweet. You can just watch all people, just their everyday life from
Right.
their kind of perspective of their outward seeing the world.
Yeah. I mean, technology is taking a big leap. I mean, we went from 2000 to where we are now. Huge leap.
People would watch that though. If you had like Google glasses or those spy glasses or something, a camera on you, and you wanted to see what other people's lives were like, you could go onto a website and just watch an average guy's day. Like, what does he do all day? And you would fucking watch it. People would watch it.
It would be fun if we could do it live. If you had a live feed, now your phone would have to have
That would be
battery life all day,
Right.
and you just use your
Right.
your connection, your
That would
cell
be
phone
awesome.
connection to do that. They can do that with the news stuff that we do. We have a cell phone connection to do live feeds. So if we can do it with that,
You could start a new app
definitely-
called Where Are You, and you can just watch somebody's life. I would personally
Or,
do
you know,
that.
everything you need to see today or whatever.
There would be some kind of a stipulation, though. People would be like, well, I didn't authorize you to put that up there, and, you know, you might get sued because you videotaped somebody that didn't want to be videotaped. And
So now I want to control
I say
my
fuck it.
appliances with my smartphone.
You can do that already.
Yeah, control your GE oven. By the way, we're not getting paid to say GE oven. It's just we're reading this. You have to say that because people think we're probably getting paid to say this. But we're not. We're just doing a podcast. We're just reading off the internet. So, anyway. Yeah, control your appliances. I mean, I would not want to walk out of the kitchen not knowing what I'm cooking for a long period of time.
Listen, this is where this would be really good. Like if I left the house in a hurry, and like the other day I left my hot iron on, or if I left the coffee pot on, most of these devices actually, or electronics, have an automatic timer that switches everything off. But let's say I had something that didn't, and I left something on, you could just get on your smartphone and check to see what's still plugged in, and I could turn off my coffee pot or whatever I left on, you know, instead of having to come all the way back home to check. I used to have a phobia that, like, when I was 22 or 23, I used to have a huge phobia where I would think I forgot something, and I'd be in the middle of going to work, and I'd always be late for work because I'd have to go home and check to make sure I didn't leave something on. For some reason, for about a year, I did that. I don't know why, but I kept, it was horrible. Like, it's like OCD or something. Like, once you start doing stuff like that, it becomes like, it's overwhelming, and you don't even realize you're doing it. Have you ever had that happen where you just all of a sudden you're paranoid about something? It was like that for about a year or so until finally I'm like, no, I didn't leave anything on. The house isn't going to burn down.
Well,
Calm down.
When I lived by myself, when you live alone, yes, because you don't have anybody here to check after
Right.
you. When you leave your house, it happens to a lot of people. Is that did I leave the toaster
Right.
plugged in, or did I leave the coffee pot plugged in? You don't want to leave those. You don't want to leave that stuff plugged in.
Oh, heck yeah,
I would
I know.
think not.
Trust me, I know.
You know, they're only good for a use and unplug it.
So yeah, so having a smartphone app or a smart house like that would save a lot of people a headache.
Or let's say curling irons, like the
That's
hot
what-
iron. I caught you with your
I just
hot
said
iron
that.
that was
Wait, I
on.
just talked about that. What were you doing when I just said it
I was
5
reading
seconds
an article.
ago?
I was reading an article.
No, I left
would-
my hot iron on.
It would be nice if those things were equipped with a timer,
Some of them do have
and
timers.
then they through your Wi-Fi connection through your house, it sends you an alert on your phone, shutting off your hot iron,
Or you could check
now-
to see if it's still on.
or yeah, either or. And after a certain amount of time that it sets, because there's a sensor on there, it'll start decrementing down. Okay, I'm going to shut off because no one's using this, obviously.
Right. Most hot irons do turn off after 10 or 15 minutes. Oh,
Right.
No.
So if you are in the hot iron business and you want our idea, just give us a call.
They already have a timer for it, dummy.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, it automatically shuts off, but not all of them. The
Oh.
older ones don't, or the cheaper ones don't. But the one I actually have in there, it automatically turns off. But Jason got burned pretty bad, and he's still pissed about it. He's trying
Well,
you left your hot iron on. Yeah, I know.
you did.
I don't care. It automatically shuts off.
Bath time.
See, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, I'd been rushing home going, oh my God, I forgot that. I better go home and turn it off.
So those of you,
I know there's a timer on it, and that's why I bought it.
I know all this tech stuff is like, it's just
I
amazing. Now they're just adding tech stuff to whatever, like a pen or, you know, anything that's used every day.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
I think to some extent, though, it's going to start to drive people crazy and animals crazy because of all the Wi-Fi connections on anything.
I don't know.
I think so. It's starting to drive me crazy. Like the people that their
You
power
might get
was,
like social media anxiety, where if you're
Right.
away from your social media for a long period of time. A lot of people have that probably.
I will guarantee
Is that you got to keep checking and keeping up on the news and keeping up on the latest and greatest thing, and you know there's certain feeds that you can join to keep up on that stuff.
if we go onto Facebook and ask all the
Just
people,
innovations.
No, listen
and
to me,
All
Jason.
this neat stuff.
we should go on Facebook.
Cars that drive themselves.
I know.
Look at this, an Audi. It's a self-driving car.
I know. I've seen this. That's
So-
stupid.
And we're not getting paid to say Audi, by the way.
But here's my thing. Listen, we should take a survey on Facebook of how people felt that week that their power was out. No TV, no cell phones, nothing. Because there's a big storm here in Michigan, and on December 21st, the power went out.
The
People were
news.
out of power for 7 days.
Yeah, and guess what? The power company did. They
Well-
made a big fucking press conference with just their employees and defending their company.
Okay, good.
And it's like, where are the people?
They wouldn't let the people in. Well, anyway, we'll get back to that story in a minute. But we should do a Facebook survey of how people felt without having to live with electronics for a week. If they felt more relaxed or if they were less stressed. Or
They're probably
what.
pissed.
Yeah, I know, cold. But seriously, if it happened in the summertime, you could have went outside and done stuff. But
Oh, people were dying because they put the
Yeah, that was
generator in the
sad.
basement.
well, the people don't know in those situations.
And it's like, what?
You're trying to keep your family warm at 40-degree temp or
Go to a
10
fucking
below
warming
temp-
center.
I know,
I would
but
have slept.
still.
I would have slept at a warming center. I wouldn't care.
people that had pets that were gonna die. I had birds at one point, and if they get too cold, they'll die. So people are stressed out without
Well, I
that
saw
power.
one lady's house catch on fire.
Yeah, you told me about that's really
So I
sad.
turned around. So I was on a shoot for the program. Don't say what.
Okay.
So we're on a shoot, and the police officer, can I get any closer to the house? I just want to see what's going on. Yeah, we don't know really what's going on, so I'll get you as far as I can. So we got about 75 yards. That's still far away. So I'm like, well, there's nothing really going on, so maybe I'll just back up. And because we have to back up, he needs to keep people away. They don't know if there's gas or whatever, if the place is going to explode or what. So the moment I turned around, he goes, oh, there's your fire. The whole roof was just in flames, like instantly.
I'm wondering if it's partially because it was so dry out in the wintertime.
Oh,
Your
yeah.
house
She had a
is-
wooden
everything's
house. She had like
dry.
a log cabin type house.
Blows up quick.
So I was like, oh, Jesus, God.
Poor lady.
So the lady shows up. Man, she was irate. I was like, oh.
Oh, I heard
She's
this
like,
story.
are you filming this? I'm like, no.
The owner of the
She's
home
like-
is yelling at you for
she go-
filming your house on fire. You'd think you'd want that for insurance purposes.
And she goes, are you
need
filming
that.
this? She was mad. I'm like, no. And I'm just here to do my job. She gets a phone call from a friend. I can hear it. She goes, Joanne, your house. It's not her name, but Joanne, your house is on the news. It's on fire. And she looks over at me going, I thought you weren't filming this. And I'm like, ma'am, I'm just doing my job.
So that's amazing how information travels. Like, it was live TV and she's already getting phone calls.
Yeah, 3 minutes later, boom, gets a phone call.
The
By
only-
the way, it's on the news.
The only thing that happened that was good out of that situation for you, Jason, is Joanne's friend distracted her from bitching at you any longer. So she was like on the phone.
Yeah,
talking
she
to her
did. She walked
friends.
away and started talking to her friend. Then
That's
she came
funny.
back when
Oh,
she was
no.
off.
Better hope she get another phone call.
I don't want this on the news. And I'm like,
It's a little
I'm
late.
like, man, I'm sorry.
All your friends know your house burnt
I
down.
said, I am really sorry about your house, but
Did she have any pets or anything? Everybody get out safe?
No, she didn't.
Well,
No, it was just, I don't know. No one got hurt. Nothing.
That's
but
good.
anyway,
well, that's the
it was
good news.
horrible. It just totally engulfed the house.
That sucks.
It
I had
was
my house
huge,
catch on fire once.
Huge fire. Just imagine a big pile of wood on fire, and
I
that
know.
big 2-story house.
That sucks. That's always sad. That's a really sad thing to happen. It's devastating for people. I had my house catch on fire once, but it destroyed some of just the ceiling. But
Yeah, the wintertime you got to be
Electrical
careful
fires.
because electrical fires are really common because you're using so much electricity that it does
dry.
heat up those wires
Yeah.
and it creates
especially
you
those
know,
older houses
heat.
too.
So that's just the way it works. So if
all
you're using a lot of electricity, don't use it too much.
It's so dry out, and the power was going in and out. So when your power goes off and kicks back on, it sparks. I've had that happen where my power went on. When it came back on, just a light bulb would blow out of the socket because it's too much juice. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, all right. So
By the
let's-
way, I'm with the Squeeb. We are on creativecult.com and also the Squeeb on YouTube. And we're just talking about some tech stuff. So if you just joined us, we're just talking about some stuff at the CES 2014 that some stuff come out.
those little
Looks like Polaroid
C3.
C3s. These tiny little Polaroid cameras. They're 1.3-inch square cameras that capture 720p VGA video and 5 megapixel stills.
they are cute.
They're tiny. They're lightweight. There's magnets under them.
Awesome. That is so
Attach
awesome.
them to whatever. They're waterproof. and they go down about 6.5 feet. You know,
No, I would get one of those.
So
Put
that'd
it
be
in
kinda
your
cool.
car. Like if you're going to get pulled over by the police, have them lined up in your car so you can like, if they're cheap enough, you know,
yeah, they're $99.
that's not too bad. I'm sure once, they should sell them in 3-packs though. You should always have 3 of those
Right.
set up in your house. That'd be nice.
There's a Google Help Out camera. Google has rolled out a help video consortium, I guess you would say, if you want to teach people how to tie your shoes in 30 different unique ways. You could do that
Oh, that's kind of a good thing.
and get paid to do it. Google Help Outs gives you access to the marketplace where people can help out with some tasks like changing a tire, lending or tending to goats, and changing your shoes 30 different ways, or however you want to do that. So they developed a low-powered HD compression and compressed camera. You can create videos for your help outs and stuff like that. So if you don't have a camera and you need a camera, you can buy one of theirs.
That's cool. Like they're coming out with a lot of really nice stuff this year.
Yeah, a lot of things. I think a lot of stuff's gonna be video oriented, tech oriented with like cars. Now they got
Well,
home
look at-
security. You know, your door locks are all iPhone operated now and whatnot. Just don't don't lose your phone. Set
hey-
it, your keys. Don't lose your phone.
Remember this, Jason, when we were in high school? Like, nobody wanted their picture taken. Like, you pull out a camera, people would run from you. Now, it's like everybody, the times have changed. 20 years later, people are dying to get
Well,
their
now
photos
it's all
taken.
depends on who's taking. If it's a stranger taking your picture, it's
People still don't care. I'll tell
No.
you what, we're strangers to a lot of people, and we take their picture, and they're always very cool about it.
Mm-hmm.
20 years ago, people would have been pissed. You
Yeah.
know how things have kind of changed?
Yeah.
It's very cool to get your picture taken.
Where's this going? Is it going to be on a? Am I going to be
Yeah.
famous?
Everybody's like wanting that,
Wow.
you
They
know,
want
that
that little-
viral video or that
instead of-
viral photo or
Well,
whatever.
the thing is it's not 15 minutes anymore. It's 5. It's probably 10 seconds of fame,
and they're
and that's
cool
it.
with it.
And it's the next one next.
Yeah.
10 seconds. There's no more 15 minutes. It's faster and faster and faster.
And there's
So-
more opportunity though. You maybe get 15 minutes of fame, but now it's like a million 1 second seconds of fame. You know what I'm saying? There's more opportunity now.
So cars are getting more techy. Obviously, the car industry is going to use tech to monitor your car performance and all that stuff. So that's coming out. Steam machines invade CES with controllers, all-in-one controller. looks like.
Steam is the website. Steam, is that what that is?
Yeah, but now you can use their little hand-powered controller to.
Steam is a gaming
play
website if
games
nobody
and
knows.
whatnot.
It's like Origins.
So pretty cool, more compact. You don't have to have a big box under your TV now. It's now in your hand controller.
Nice.
Kind of neat because everything is on the internet anyway. It's in the cloud. You're playing games in the cloud like every other game out there now. So everything's getting smaller, compact, and more powerful. All these things are being tweaked to analog to digital interfaces and all that neat stuff. Cameras, you name it. It's Nikon's coming out with a 4DS pictures and video. Nikon does kind of lead the pack with imagery, in my opinion. They're just always coming out with better sensors, more so than Canon. Canon's always behind the ball. I don't know what their problem is.
It's Canon.
Canon's great, but Canon's good. Canon glass.
Go with Japan.
Canon glass is the best glass you can get, but Nikon leads the way with technology.
Yeah, but you gotta have that glass so nobody breaks their stuff. So you gotta have that military grade glass right there. That's where they're making all their money. They don't need to waste it on gadgets when somebody else is doing it. They're making their money on that glass.
Heads-up display with Oculus Rift. Heads-on, excuse me. That's going to be more of a marketable product now. You can play a game and actually feel like you're in the game.
Oh God, like The Sims.
It's weird. If you get run over by a train, you're going to actually feel like you're going to get hit by a train or something.
There's got to be a clause where you got to sign it. If you have a heart attack, that's your problem.
It's crazy. Well, so anyway,
there's some
a
great
lot of
things
tech stuff.
coming.
So if you're going to go to a tech place, go to the cnet.net. Nope, cnet.com. And check out some of the new CES techwear and stuff like that. So that's where we're getting all this. If you need to know.
So let's end the program with one thing. Let's
end
let's
the program with
let's
one-
talk about our predictions. A general prediction for the 2014. What do you think is going to happen with social tech, politics?
We'll wrap up the show and kind of
resource,
give a okay.
like environmental stuff.
So what you're
Just give
telling
us
me
some
is you want to wrap
predictions.
up the show and what we've been talking about.
Right. What?
All right.
Let's get your predictions for 2014.
The medical marijuana thing and the retail thing, I think it's going to spread
Mhm.
to California. Washington, obviously Colorado's doing the thing,
Oregon.
and New York and the East Coast might catch on to that as well. As far as the Midwest where we live,
Yeah.
eh,
Even if they pass it, it's not going to be that cool.
yeah. They just want to track if you're smoking
Right.
medical marijuana. Oh, this
Right.
guy is a medical marijuana patient. We better
So
keep
we-
our eye on him.
So we got some
So that thing,
marijuana
I think the
stuff.
marijuana thing is going to blow up.
Mhm.
I mean, not in a bad way, a good way.
Okay.
Okay. So taxes, revenue, all that stuff back to the state, and people are happy, people are making money, and jobs are created. So that's the most important part of this.
And you think crime's going to go up or down?
It'll go down.
Good.
We're getting I think that the cartel stuff that's going on
Right.
will go away.
I think that's part of the reason why they started
That's
doing
why
this
they're
too.
doing it, because they don't want, it's
Too many
just
people getting
stupid,
killed.
senseless crap.
It's
So-
hurting Mexico and it's hurting America. So
Well, yeah. They'll probably
Okay, so
well, actually, we could probably, if all the states pass that law,
they could just grow it in Mexico and sell it to us legally without the cartel.
it would end.
It would end the
it would
cartels
end the
and would
cartel.
make Mexico a very richer country.
I don't know if I'd want to import medical grade marijuana, because I don't even know if they can grow it right here.
Well, you do it in Colombia.
You know what I mean?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
I wouldn't do it because you have possible contamination. You have to grow it in a controlled environment.
Yeah. Oh
So
well.
that's one of the
Okay,
big
so
reasons.
we got the medical marijuana thing
So
now. What else?
that thing's going to go on. I think a lot of tech things. I think outer space tech and what we're doing as far as exploration in outer space, imagery, all that stuff. The new satellite that's been launched out there. It's going to be a 9-year project that's going on. And it's going to take some fantastic photos, way better than Hubble ever could.
Yeah.
So it's like a 1 billion pixel camera. Imagine that. I mean, yeah, we're going to see galaxies we haven't seen yet.
So you think we're gonna so your prediction is we're gonna start discovering things then?
I think we're going to be discovering things way beyond our wildest dreams.
Wouldn't it be fucked up if we discovered ourselves looking at ourselves on the opposite side of the universe? That's just a thought. That just blew your mind.
Probably an inversion to what we are here.
A mirror of ourselves.
That'd be weird.
That would be weird. You get to a point you're reflecting on a mirror.
Be weird.
Anyway, so we got the space. What else? Socially, what do you think's gonna happen?
As far as social media goes,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just going to be, it's going to be one social media thing after another, more towards images and video. Vine and Instagram, they'll evolve into some new things. And I think Vine, and I think they are evolving into new things, actually. I just read an article. I was trying to find it. I can't find it.
Okay, so
So those are going to involve social media.
more social. I like Vine a lot.
So if you don't have a smartphone, it's time
Okay.
to break down and get one.
Now, what's your prediction on the economy?
Economy, I think, is going to kind of stay the same
Yeah.
because there's only a certain amount of people that can get hired through with medical marijuana and stuff like
Right.
that. It's only going to be a select few people that are going to be into that
Okay.
industry.
Now, weather-wise, do you have any predictions for our weather that we are having?
Weather, I think it's just a fluke. I think summer will be nice, hopefully.
Yeah, so you don't know.
I don't know.
You don't have any weather.
Who
predictions?
knows what's going on with our weather? But that Arctic blast kind of, if it was even colder, that Arctic blast would be a shocker.
Yeah,
I mean, it'd be
Arctic
like that
blast was
movie,
bad.
The Day After Tomorrow.
Right.
It'd be just like that. I mean, look at what it did.
I know.
And it froze cars instantly. I mean,
Can you imagine
crazy.
if there was an ice age, mini ice age? We would all die. Like the
a lot of
plants, the
people,
animals.
not everybody, but a lot of things would fail.
If you
a lot
get-
of services would be crippled. And a lot of people that have disabilities and they're on medications and they're just barely hanging on,
Yeah.
they're going to die.
Yeah, that's too. The
Your
strong survives.
your lifespan's going to be a little bit
All right, so here's
shorter.
my predictions for the United States.
Yes.
Weather-wise, I think that we're going to have a very awful time. Like, I think it's going to warm up sometime in February. Like, it's going to get 60 degrees for a couple days, and then it's going to get super cold again for a couple weeks, and then it's going to be like spontaneous warm-ups for a couple days, like outrageous warmth. And I think there's going to start raining and thunderstorms when it should be snowing in the beginning of March.
So do you think this is like a global warming effect that's going on with
Yes.
this sporadic
I
weather?
think that our planet is readjusting. Because the sun's flipped.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's confusing our planet, and we just need to balance out some stuff. I think our planet is starting to try to get on another routine, I guess, a course of some sort back into its seasons. I think our seasons are going to start to slowly change. I think we're going to have a later summer and a later fall. So it's going to start to be kind of warm up until Thanksgiving and stay cooler until mid-May. So that's what I think. I think we're going to have some horrendous tornadoes, hurricanes, and I think it's going to be at least 30 days from its normal season. So like tornado season usually starts, I think, in August to like the end of October. I think it's going to start a little bit sooner. And I think hurricane season is going to fuck the shit out of Florida this year. I think Florida is going to get hit so bad that Florida is going to be like, I think Miami is going to go down.
Flood?
Flood.
Could be. They're already sinking.
I think it's going to actually affect all the way up to like Kissimmee where Disney World is. Like I think there's going to be a big problem with Disney this year, like with some major structural difficulties with flooding and.
I think
just
Dennis
a big-
Rodman is going to make some breakthroughs in North Korea.
I think Dennis Rodman is going to, like I said earlier,
He
this
may
is my
die
prediction.
there. He may die
He
there.
is never coming back to the United States. He's going to be considered a traitor, and I believe that either one, he's kidnapped by this Kim guy, and the United States won't let him back. I think something's going to
He'll
spark.
probably. I think what's going to happen is Kim Jong Un is going to keep him as his own personal
like
trophy.
a pet. He's going to keep him as a fucking
It's going to
pet.
be his like trophy. I own a basketball player.
And I think that his buddies that went over there are going to fucking walk.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
they're
they're
gonna-
running. They're getting the fuck out
Well,
of there. They don't want to go back. They're
that
scared. at
press
this point.
conference. The look on their faces were like, "What the fuck?"
I think.
I don't know what he's on, but he's on some. I don't know if he's smoking too much weed or not enough weed, but gee,
I think the
seriously.
medical marijuana thing is going to, they're going to implement some new laws. I think that a lot of people are going to start flocking there in the next year. And I think there's going to be a lot, like you said, tourist attractions. That's probably why we should move and start a tourist attraction. Like we'll start a cafe that you can smoke pot in called the Big Pot Cafe. Smoking. But
the melting pot.
yeah, you're gonna see a lot more socializing without the cell phones. I think this marijuana thing is gonna make people want to put down their cell phones and actually communicate with people face to face. You're
Well-
gonna see a lot more face to face interactions and not people sitting at the fucking bar or in a restaurant with, their phone in their face the whole time. So we're gonna see some of that.
So you're looking at some social change.
I think
far
that
as-
people are starting to get sick. Cell phones and staring into your phone all day was great, but I think people want something else. I think they need to start socializing more, and I think you're going to start
Well,
seeing more people socialize.
The
without the
idea
phones.
behind that is, I think when people are into that thing, they're searching for something. They're searching for a connection or news or whatever. But I think ultimately they're looking for some connection. They're
Yeah,
looking
but-
for someone to talk to and talk about things that are
But they're
important to
looking
them.
for somebody to talk to when
And
they're
then-
sitting next to somebody that
Well, look
they
how many
went to the
dating
bar with them.
Well, look how many dating sites there are. They're just popping up all over for every activity out there. So if you're into TVs, and they'll have a TV dating site for you. Oh, find another girl or guy that is into television just as much as you are.
So
Or
I
the-
should start a new
or the
company
blah,
called
blah.
Sad
Or if
Chat
you-
because you're sad. I'm going to chat with you. You can chat with
Yes,
anybody.
Yes, or you
Text
should do drone
You can
chat.
do
Or if you're
that.
into drones and you want to be a drone loving couple, you can have a drone hovering over your bed while you guys have sex, and you can film that.
See, that would be a
Or
good idea. And
you
I
could, if you're into space stuff, you can go into spacegeekycouples.com and you can get into, you know what I mean? Stuff like that customized dating sites that are target your interests. There's a
True.
lot of those popping up.
I think that
So
you could start a dating site of just simply texting each other.
look at cosplay. Look at Comic-Con. Those are great social environments, but they're also very geeky.
I like those.
And I don't think a lot of
I like
a lot of
nerdy
people.
people.
I don't think a lot of people are hooking up. Now the girls that go there, they're hot.
But they don't hook up with nerds.
No.
But
so
if they
I
were
was there,
smart, you would. They make money.
so I think if I was there with a microphone and doing some interviews, could probably hook up.
Yeah.
Probably get them, yeah.
Probably not, Jason. Anyways, so some of the other things, I think that we're going to start moving towards healthier foods. I think they're going to start, like the FDA is going to start regulating things like the trans fat thing that we were talking about. They're getting rid of fatty foods and they're trying to make things more healthy.
Good and bad, but
I think it's going to
I think
be...
ultimately, I think it's a good idea because I am a health conscious person. So yeah, there's two sides of that coin where you're trying to control something and take something away from the public. Although it is a bad thing, it makes sense to take it away, but it's the government control of the whole thing.
Well, if they're letting us have bad stuff, then
No.
that's their job, is to like regulate it, right?
No, it's your job as a consumer to go, I don't need this and I ain't going to buy it.
Right, but let's say I'm a consumer and I go to the grocery store and I want a bag of chips. I'm assuming those bags of chips are just chips, but if there's some sort of chemical that's poisonous in there that's not good for you, I'm assuming that the FDA would check into that because they have a lab that they can check if something's good for you or bad. Where I don't.
Yeah.
I don't. Most American people don't know what those chemicals are on the back
No,
of those.
any packaged food has got some super
I mean,
long chemical.
You need
that's
to be a
added to it.
chemist of some sort of, some big MSU to do studies on this if you want to eat right. Most Americans trust that the food in the stores
Any
are safe.
sensible person's going to go fruits, vegetables, a little bit of grains, and some fiber
Right.
and exercise. That's the way to stay healthy.
Right, but let's say I want a bottle of juice for my kids. You would assume that somebody in the government would have regulated that, saying, "Oh, there's not rat poisoning in there, so it's okay to drink." But now we're finding out that these chemicals are in these foods that are just as bad as some certain poisons that we kill animals with. So it's like rat poisoning. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it doesn't
They're
make any
finding out.
sense.
They're finding out that these chemicals that are in these foods are terrible.
Why do you think I don't eat most of them?
I know you don't. The plastic in our water, like the water bottles, now they're saying the plastic that they use is poisoned. So,
Yeah, they've known that for years. But yeah,
anyways,
it's
so that's
leaching the
my one.
plastic.
They're going to
from-
start changing things.
That's why I
probably
use the blue
packaging and-
jugs.
right.
Those are non-bisphenol A, is what's in your water bottle.
Mm-hmm.
Those are non-bisphenol A jugs, so that's why I keep using them over and over because they're not leaching the plastic. They're not leaching out that fuel. The
Gotcha.
Water.
So
water's gonna take that.
possibly this year, some of these things are going to be, they're not going to have as many dyes in food to make them pretty anymore. I think they're just going to change the way that we package things, we eat. So that's going to be another thing. Like you go to the grocery store, the packaging is all going to be changed.
Yeah.
But that's one of my predictions. That's going to start happening this year. The unemployment thing, I hope goes through that extension to help out, a couple million Americans that just got screwed on the 28th of December.
Better because
A lot of people are
there's
screwed.
a lot of people going to be
It's a really bad time for them to do that. It's winter. We had that Arctic blast. People can't go out and look for jobs. Your cars are breaking down. You have Christmas around the corner. Half of Michigan didn't have electricity. Businesses are closed still today. Schools are closed. Businesses are closed because the weather's so bad. And then they just canceled the unemployment extensions. People got cut off automatically.
Time to move. Seriously, if you're in that situation,
Right.
you find a way to move in a warmer climate and
I agree. I
find a
totally
new-
agree.
find a new career of some
But
sort.
for
Learn how to build websites.
I
Learn
really-
how to,
we're
do
doing my
things in
prediction right
tech.
now. We're not okay.
Oh,
So-
well, that's the next thing. Tech.
Tech, I think.
Okay. Website creation and development, I think, is huge. I'm learning how to do it.
I think robots are going to be the next big thing. Your
Well,
personal assistant robots.
Well, Google just bought DARPA's
Robot program.
robot program. This is also actually it's Boston Dynamics.
That's awesome.
Boston Dynamics is connected to DARPA
I want a robot.
research projects and stuff
So
like
robots are going to be popular.
that. I don't know. I think it's going to be a big drone thing.
I bet you this Christmas, 2014, robots. People are going to buy their kids robots, little fucking robots. I bet you.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the weather's going to start turning on us and being weird again. It's going to be very, very damaging. I don't care where you're at. There's going to be floods in the, like Colorado had floods and fires. There's going to be some major fires in California, Arizona,
Every
Colorado, Nevada.
Every year it happens.
Yeah, there's going to be some bad ones again.
I think the stocks,
think-
the medical marijuana stocks, are going to go up. So if you are into stocks and bonds and investing, things like that, look into it because they are publicly traded. So
Yeah,
I invest in it. I invest in it and I'm making money. Not a whole lot of money, but
it's nice to see that you're
it's
making money.
going
It's a
up.
good feeling to
it's
click
like,
onto
wow,
that button.
actually, this whole investing thing actually works when there's a hot market.
Yeah.
But when it's all spread out and everybody's got their hand in the pie, and you got utility markets and stuff like that, which do make money in the long run.
Right.
And
This
that's
is
how I made most of my
day
money
trading, though.
back
Day
then.
trading.
But yeah, day trading, this stuff is actually fun.
It is fun. If you don't gamble a lot of money, because you're basically gambling.
So if you're going to invest, go with hemp, Grow Life, and what's the other one? Yeah, Grow Life and Green Grow. So check those companies out. They have jumped percentages in the last 4 or 5 days with the passing of the new law of Colorado. So, and these are good companies. Do your research on them. They're out there. They're public, and they're just making money. You don't have to have a lot of money to invest. You can start with 20 to
I think
$600
yeah.
is a great place to start.
I started with $50.
Yeah, you can make money.
Yeah. I lost $50, so I didn't invest, right? So. All right, so let's wrap this show up until another time.
Yes. So where can we find you at?
You can find me at Creative Cult, the Squeeb's website, or my YouTube page, The Squeeb, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Tumblr. I'm everywhere. I'm all over the place.
And you can find me at Creative Cult, or just find me on Facebook, or you can find Creative Cult on Facebook. All that neat stuff. We'll leave some links below so you guys can check us out. But hey, thanks for joining us for another podcast, and this is our tech podcast of the new year. So enjoy, be safe, and have a good new year, and smoke responsibly if you are one of those people.
Smoke it if you got it.
Yep.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us tonight, and till next time.
Yep. Share us, and we'll see you later.